Hello there. I'm Orly Wava, founder of Life Fast Inside. Some of you may know me and some of you may not know me. We've never had the opportunity to chat yet, but I'm really looking forward to the potential of bringing you on board as a volunteer. So if you're seeing this video, that means that you've expressed interest in volunteering in some capacity, whether it be, 1 hour a week or 10 hours a week or whatever it may be. And so I wanted to have the opportunity to really speak to a group of you and give you just a bit of background about what we're doing and what the organization is about, so that when we do get on our Skype call, if you're interested, that we can get right to it. So just a bit about myself, a bit about the organization, if you may or may not know. So I founded Life Fast Inside back 6 years ago. I was a middle school teacher for 7 amazing years, and I left my job teaching 6 years ago to start this organization. And the mission of Life Fast Inside is to inspire, empower, and educate people of all different backgrounds to lead a life of kindness. But the core mission of this organization, if I were to sum it up into one word, it's really the word empowerment. It's about empowering people to recognize their value, that they matter, that they're significant, and that while they might be 1 in 7 billion, the number that matters the most is that they're one. And so we look to spread this message through various means, whether it be through inspirational media like film and social media, or whether it be through events like our Worldwide Dance for Kindness event, whether it be through technology like our Project Hope Exchange platform, or whether it be through education, through our educational kindness curriculum and going in and doing workshops, whether it be in schools or in companies. Don't worry if you don't know the details about all the things I'm mentioning. That's totally cool. So this volunteer opportunity is very, very specific. About a few months ago, my book, Kindness Boomerang, came out. It's a lesson-a-day book in kindness. There are 12 categories that repeat throughout the course of the book, whether it be kindness in the home, in the workplace, on the go, with strangers, with yourself. And every single day of the year has within it one act, a quote, and then a short reflection on the power of paying it forward connected to that act. So it's a lesson-a-day book, really easy for people to ingest. And the idea is it gives people the opportunity to increase their awareness to what kindness looks like so that they could seize those moments when they come across. So after the book got released, I had various opportunities to speak in companies and in schools and so forth. And a huge opportunity came about to do a cross-country tour. I know it's pretty crazy. And so I am in the midst of planning a 6-week cross-country tour in the U.S. from the West Coast to the East Coast, where I'll be flying over to the West Coast, and in this kindness caravan is going to be myself, our videographer, as well as our social media strategist, and an amazing surprise, which I've not yet announced publicly, but I'll let you know soon. We're going to be having a couple of musicians join us as well, that within each stop, they're also going to be able to perform. So what is the purpose of this tour? The purpose of this tour is meant to be a listening and sharing tour, where I'm going to have the opportunity to really engage with people in dialogue about kindness and about kindness perception and how we can increase kindness perception, and discussing important things as why does unkindness exist? So engaging with people. The tour really has several different parts to it, and you're going to understand why I'm mentioning all this to you. One of them is speaking engagements, going in and speaking in schools, whether it be elementary or middle school or high school or universities, companies, community centers, religious institutions, giving as many talks as possible and getting in front of as many people as possible, having as many ears hear the message as possible. That's one aspect. The other aspect is connected to the book, which also can be connected to the speaking engagements of doing book signings and getting the book into people's hands. I'm in the midst of creating a curriculum that goes in line with this book that can be incorporated with parents, using it with their kids, giving parents 1 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute, and 30 minute exercises that they can incorporate whether on a daily basis or on a weekly basis, as well as for companies and for schools. So there's going to be a lot of opportunity with the book. So that's the second aspect, the book signings. The third aspect is the volunteer activities. What are volunteer activities? So within each city that I go to, I don't only want to just be speaking about what we're talking about. I want to actually engage in kindness. So I'll be pre-selecting various volunteer activities that I want to do in some of the cities. It might be going to visit an orphanage. It might be going to a soup kitchen. It might be going to give out gifts in a hospital, or, give haircuts to people that are homeless on the streets, or whatever it may be. There are various volunteer activities that we're going to be able to select from. And the objective is to give the community there the notice and let them know that they can join me in these activities. So that's the third part. And the fourth part is community activities. What is community activities? Well, building community means building relationship. So while I'm going to be on this tour for 6 weeks, there are also a lot of hobbies that I have that I want to continue, that I want to be able to do. But it's more than that. It's wanting to really create human connection and interaction with people that I'm meeting on the tour. So I'm going to invite members of that community to join me on these fun activities that I love doing, whether it be having a pickup game of basketball or, putting together a jam session, whatever it may be. So that's another aspect. And then the last aspect is the recreational things. Of course, we're going to be traveling across the U.S., and there are certain landmarks or things that we would want to see during the tour, and we would want to capture, through video. So that's another aspect. That's like the least important of the aspects. So again, there's speaking engagements, there's book signings, there's the volunteer activities, there's the community activities, and then there's the recreational activities. And like I said, throughout the course of this journey, we're going to be getting video of the entire thing. So now, what does this mean for you? How can you help? Great question. So this tour is happening in the fall, at the end of October to be specific. And over the next month, from May all the way till mid-June, my personal goal, is to get the itinerary as solidified and ironed out as possible. And so that means the first step is getting data. So breaking it by cities. Let's say we have 20 cities. So within each of those 20 cities, we need to be able to get contact information for schools, for speaking engagements, for bookstores, for book signings, for various volunteer activities, whether it be getting the numbers of soup kitchens there, or what are like the best, kindness activities that are within that community. Getting those contacts. Community activities, like I said, I love playing basketball, or I love yoga, right? Let's say I just start doing yoga. So maybe we get the contact number, and I would give you a list of what we're looking for. You would find the contact number of a local yoga studio there. Then this way we can invite people to join me during that specific day. And then recreational activities. Are there any really amazing sites or something to really see there? And filling this into a spreadsheet. So if there are 20 cities, now I wouldn't expect one person to be able to do all the cities and all of the various categories within that city. What I would do is I would share with you a spreadsheet, which I'll show you on the call. Basically, the spreadsheet has everything broken down into buckets and categories. So, there'll be speaking engagements on there, books on all the different buckets, and then the various categories. And I'll explain all of this to you. And what I would do is I would assign you, depending on how much time you have available, I would either assign you an entire city, which means you'll find contact information for each of those categories and just fill them in onto the spreadsheet. You wouldn't necessarily need to be getting on the phones. You're not looking to book me in these places. You're just looking to, the first step is just collecting data. That's it, collecting data. The next step is the booking. But where you're going to be coming in right now, it's really just collecting the data, doing Google searches. So if you're good on the computer and finding things on Google, and you know how to use Google, Google Docs, we're going to be doing it through a spreadsheet, Google Sheets, then you should be totally fine. If you don't know Google Sheets, it's not a big deal. I could teach it to you in about 3.5 seconds. So that should not be something that stops you. And basically filling out the spreadsheet. The goal is that, and once you do that, I will give you the next specific category or the next city. And the goal is to get as much of this information into the spreadsheet within the next couple of weeks as possible, so that I have ample time to then go out and do outreach and get these locations booked city by city by city, so that we can understand what our full itinerary is. So that is where the volunteer opportunity lies. Now there's other volunteer opportunities that are connected to the tour, but it will really depend on your strengths and whether you feel comfortable doing those things. So somebody had reached out to me and they mentioned that they happen to really, happen to know companies, and they're very good in terms of, getting on the phones and calling people. So I told them that we happen to have a sponsorship kit. We have a sponsorship deck for the tour to help raise funds so that we can travel. It's going to be, it's pretty expensive to do something like this. So if you have connections to companies that you think might be interested in sponsoring, you can work on that aspect, where I would give you the sponsorship deck, that lists what the tour is and what the benefits of the sponsor are, as well as an email template that you can utilize when reaching out to these potential sponsors. And you can create those relationships and create those connections to see if they might be interested in sponsoring. So that's something separate. But the easiest thing, but that is super important because that's really where I need the most help, is in just filling out that spreadsheet and getting as much information. So I'm going to stop talking now. You listened to this 10-minute video, so that already shows me that you are definitely interested in being a volunteer. So after you watch this, all I ask you to do is just email me back and let me know, yes, I'm interested, no, I'm not interested, how much time that you might be available. There are other opportunities within the organization to volunteer. It just so happens that this is my immediacy of what I need right now. So while there might be other opportunities that I would love to be able to give to you, I need as many people as possible to help me get this done within the next couple of weeks. So that's basically it. Email me back and we'll schedule a Skype call. If you've already scheduled your Skype call with me, I probably asked you to watch this before we jumped on. And looking forward. All right, guys. I'll speak to you later. Bye.